What if I told you that the most devastating battle in anime history never actually happened? What if the collision between two transcendent beings could literally shatter the boundaries between universes, creating a reality where the impossible becomes inevitable? Welcome to the multiverse of anime. If you enjoy exploring alternate realities where heroes fall and villains rise, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel for more mind-bending stories. Today we explore the ultimate crossover, Ultra Instinct Goku versus Limitlessgojo, and the catastrophic consequences of their meeting. Across from him stands satorugojo, his six eyes perceiving the infinite space between atoms. His limitless technique doesn't just create protection, it controls the very concept of distance itself. When Gojo fights, mathematics bends to his will, making him untouchable by manipulating the endless void between cause and effect. Picture this moment frozen in time, silver divine energy crackling against infinite spatial barriers. Goku's Ultra Instinct aura flows like liquid starlight, his body moving with reactions so perfect they occur before conscious thought. Every fiber of his being operates on autopilot, dodging attacks that haven't been thrown yet, countering moves that exist only in probability. But when these two powers collide, something unprecedented happens. Reality doesn't just crack, it bleeds. Gojo responds by expanding his domain beyond normal limits, creating geometric nightmares where space folds into impossible origami patterns. His limitless technique evolves in real time, making not just physical contact impossible, but making the idea of impossibility itself infinitely distant. Witness the impossible. Goku appearing in multiple timeline fragments simultaneously, each version fighting different outcomes of the same battle. His Ultra Instinct doesn't just dodge attacks, it dodges the concept of being attacked across probability streams that shouldn't exist. The initial impact creates a shockwave that transcends physical force. Goku's instinctive perfection tries to process infinite space while Gojo's calculated infinity attempts to contain movement that exists outside dimensional boundaries. The result is a paradox that threatens to unravel existence itself. Their techniques don't simply clash, they merge and mutate, creating hybrid abilities that belong to neither universe. The Infinite Instinct technique emerges from their collision, where automatic divine reactions guide attacks through limitless space, striking from directions that don't exist while dodging consequences that span multiple realities. But here's what will terrify you. This encounter isn't random. Something has been watching from between dimensions, orchestrating events across multiple realities. A cosmic entity that exists beyond normal existence has been manipulating the fabric of reality itself, engineering this exact confrontation for reasons that will reshape everything we understand about power and perfection. Citizens find themselves aging decades in seconds, while others experience their entire lives in reverse. The very air splits into probability clouds, each breath containing oxygen from different dimensional states. The aftermath of their initial clash defies description. Entire city blocks exist in multiple time periods simultaneously. In some areas, gravity flows upward while time moves in reverse. Buildings phase in and out of existence as reality struggles to process two incompatible perfection systems operating in the same space. As Goku and Gojo realize the magnitude of what they've unleashed, as their students begin experiencing alternate versions of their own deaths across timeline fragments, both warriors face a horrifying revelation. Their combined might has awakened something that makes their individual power look like candle flames next to the heat death of the universe. What experiment has been using their battle as data? Why does this entity need the collision of Ultra Instinct and Limitless to achieve its ultimate goal? And what does it mean when it speaks of harvesting perfection itself? The entity begins feeding off the reality distortions, growing stronger with each impossible technique the warriors create. As it evolves, we glimpse its true plan, using their conflict to remake all existence according to its vision of absolute perfection, where free will and chaos are eliminated forever. The cosmic entity materializes from the dimensional tiers, its form shifting between mathematical concepts and pure malevolent intent. Its voice echoes across reality streams, each word rewriting the laws of physics. Excellent. The perfect conflict experiment proceeds beyond all projections. The choice that changes everything. But as buildings scream while phasing through dimensional barriers, as the mathematical foundations of reality begin dissolving, both Goku and Gojo make a choice that will determine the fate of every possible universe. Yet this is merely the beginning of a story that will redefine your understanding of strength, sacrifice, and what it truly means to be perfect. What unfolds next will challenge everything you believe about the nature of power itself. And the most shocking revelation is still to come. In the beginning, there was order. Two separate realities existed in perfect isolation, each governed by its own immutable laws. Our heroes inhabited worlds that could never meet, fighting battles that would never intersect. The battle that was never meant to happen is about to become the war that determines whether reality itself deserves to exist. In Universe 7, Son Goku stands atop the crystalline surface of Beerus's planet, his body flowing through combat forms that transcend mortal understanding. Whis circles him like a patient teacher, each movement a lesson in divine technique. Goku's silver aura flickers sporadically, Ultra Instinct responding to threats that exist only in possibility. Goku nods, sweat beading on his brow despite the planet's perfect climate. Each time he grasps Ultra Instinct fully, some small emotional trigger pulls him back to conscious thought. The technique demands a surrender of self that battles against every Saiyan instinct he possesses. Your emotional state still disrupts the flow, Whis observes, his staff creating ripples in space itself. True mastery requires absolute serenity even in the face of annihilation. Their sparring intensifies. Whis moves like flowing water, each attack designed to test Goku's automatic responses. The Saiyan's body reacts before his mind can process the incoming strikes, silver energy crackling as his form shifts between dimensions of possibility. When Ultra Instinct flows perfectly, he doesn't just dodge attacks, he moves through spaces where attacks cannot exist. The planet's surface reshapes itself from their speed alone. Mountains rise and fall as aftershocks from their collision, the very atoms of matter struggling to process movement that occurs outside normal temporal flow. Whis nods approvingly as Goku's reactions achieve perfect synchronization with his instincts. Remember, Whis says between exchanges, this technique belongs to us angels naturally. For mortals, it represents the ultimate evolution of combat awareness. Your body must learn to exist independently of your consciousness. Meanwhile, in Tokyo's Shibuya district, Satorugojo moves through crowded streets with casual confidence. His six eyes process information streams that would overwhelm ordinary minds, detecting cursed energy signatures across multiple city blocks simultaneously. Behind his blindfold, those legendary eyes perceive the infinite space between atoms, the mathematical certainty of his own invincibility. The key to jujutsu, Gojo explains to his class, is understanding that cursed energy springs from negative emotions. But I've transcended that limitation entirely. My technique doesn't just use cursed energy, it manipulates the fundamental concept of distance itself. Students at Tokyo Jujutsu High train under his guidance, pushing their abilities beyond previous limitations. Yuji Itadori practices controlling Sukuna's power, while Megami Fushiguro refines his Shikigami techniques. Nobara Kugisaki perfects her straw doll resonance, each student growing stronger under Gojo's unconventional teaching methods. He demonstrates by creating barriers that exist in mathematical impossibility, spaces where infinity stretches between his position and any potential threat. His limitless technique makes him untouchable, not through speed or strength, but by controlling the very fabric of space-time around his body. The cosmic entity watches from between dimensions, its form shifting through mathematical concepts that mortal minds cannot fully comprehend. It has been conducting experiments across multiple realities, studying the nature of perfect beings and the conflicts they inevitably create. As both warriors perfect their respective arts, subtle distortions begin appearing in reality itself. Goku's Ultra Instinct training creates micro-fractures in dimensional stability, while Gojo's spatial manipulations generate resonances that echo across probability streams. Neither realizes their individual perfection is creating conditions for something unprecedented. Its plan spans eons of careful manipulation, engineering circumstances that will bring these two perfect beings into direct contact. The entity feeds on conflicts between transcendent forces, growing stronger with each impossible battle it orchestrates. Reports begin filtering through both organizations simultaneously. In Universe 7, mysterious energy readings appear on dimensional scanners. On Earth, jujutsu sorcerers detect anomalous, cursed energy signatures that don't match any known classification system. Fascinating! It whispers to itself, words that exist as pure concept rather than sound. Two different approaches to transcendence, each pushing the boundaries of their respective reality systems. Soon, very soon, the convergence will create exactly the data I require. Whis's expression grows thoughtful. Indeed, there are disturbances in the dimensional fabric itself. Most peculiar. The energy signature doesn't match any known cosmic force. Goku pauses during training, his instincts detecting something beyond normal perception. Whis, do you sense that? Something's coming, something that feels different from anything I've encountered. Simultaneously, Gojo's six eyes detect impossible readings during a routine patrol. The mathematical certainty of his perception tells him something is approaching that shouldn't exist according to any established rules of reality. Both warriors stand at the threshold of an encounter that will redefine the very nature of existence itself. A special grade cursed spirit materializes above the crowded intersection, its form defying geometric logic. This entity doesn't simply threaten physical destruction, it warps the very concept of space around itself, creating zones where up becomes down and distance becomes meaningless. Thousands of civilians flee in terror as reality bends like heated metal around the creature's presence. The moment arrives with the weight of destiny itself. In the heart of Shibuya, where millions of lives pulse with the rhythm of ordinary existence, Satorugojo faces a decision that will echo across infinite realities. His internal monologue races through calculations at light speed. I am the strongest. I have never failed. Every battle has ended with my absolute victory, but this approaching energy signature defies classification entirely. It's not cursed energy, not spiritual power, not anything that should exist according to the laws I understand. The curse begins its assault, reality fracturing around its attacks. Buildings twist into Mobius strips while gravity flows in spirals that trap fleeing civilians. Gojo must act immediately or watch thousands die in mathematical impossibility. Gojo's six eyes analyze the threat in microseconds. This curse possesses abilities that mirror his own limitless technique, but in reverse, creating spaces where infinity collapses into singularity points. To defeat it requires a precise application of domain expansion, but doing so means dropping his infinity barrier for exactly 1/10 of a second. Domain expansion? Unlimited void. The barrier drops. For one crucial moment, Satorugojo becomes vulnerable. His infinity technique, suspended as unlimited information, floods the cursed spirit's consciousness. The domain creates a space where all knowledge exists simultaneously, overwhelming the creature with infinite sensory input until its consciousness simply stops functioning. He makes his choice. He extends his vulnerability for 2 additional seconds. But in that vulnerable instant, as his legendary invincibility wavers, Gojo senses something extraordinary approaching at impossible speed. His six eyes detect energy patterns that operate outside every known system of power. Instead of immediately reactivating infinity, curiosity overrides caution. That choice changes everything. Goku materializes through instant transmission, his cheerful face breaking into a friendly grin as he appears in the aftermath of the cursed spirit's destruction. His base form radiates warmth and openness, completely at odds with the devastation surrounding them. Hey there! I felt this incredible energy and thought someone might need help. I'm Goku. He extends his hand in greeting, a gesture of pure friendship that transcends dimensional boundaries. For the first time in his adult life, that hand passes through the space where infinity should be, making contact with the strongest jujutsu sorcerer alive. Yuji and Megumi arrive to witness this impossible meeting, their eyes widening as they observe their seemingly invincible teacher making physical contact with a stranger. The fabric of space around the two perfect beings begins to shimmer with unstable energy. Both warriors freeze. The sensation is unprecedented for each of them. Goku's ki-enhanced senses detect power that operates on principles completely foreign to his understanding. Gojo's six eyes perceive energy that exists outside cursed energy classification yet possesses depths that rival his own limitless technique. Recognition passes between them like lightning. Here stands another being who has transcended normal limitations, achieved perfection through entirely different means. The mutual acknowledgement creates a resonance that reality itself struggles to process. Fascinating, Gojo murmurs, his casual demeanor hiding intense analysis. You're not using cursed energy at all, yet your power signature suggests transcendence beyond normal human limitations. What are you exactly? Their conversation seems innocent, but the dying curse's residual energy begins reacting to their combined presence. Cursed energy and ki start creating feedback loops, each system trying to process the other according to incompatible rules. Reality hiccups again, more violently this time. Just a guy who loves fighting and getting stronger, Goku replies honestly. But you're incredible too. I can sense something amazing about your power. It's like you control space itself. Both warriors notice the distortion simultaneously. Goku's battle instincts flare as he senses dimensional instability. Gojo's mathematical mind calculates probability cascades that shouldn't be possible. They step back from each other, but the damage is already done. Perfect specimens. It whispers across probability streams. One who achieved divine instinct through pure heart, another who controls infinity through mathematical certainty. Their interaction will provide unprecedented data on transcendent conflict resolution. The cosmic entity has been waiting for exactly this moment. From its position between dimensions, it begins manipulating the resonance between their power systems, amplifying the feedback until it reaches critical mass. But their attempts at containment create the opposite effect. Ultra Instinct automatic reactions try to dodge infinite space, while Limitless attempts to control movement that exists outside spatial concepts entirely. The paradox grows exponentially, reality bleeding like an open wound. The feedback reaches crescendo. Goku instinctively transforms to Ultra Instinct as dimensional tears begin spreading from their position. His silver aura erupts like controlled lightning, body moving on autopilot to contain the expanding chaos. Gojo responds by expanding his domain beyond normal parameters, creating a pocket of stable space-time to protect nearby civilians. Unlimited Void, Reality Anchor. The technique evolves in real time, his limitless ability adapting to process dimensional instability it was never designed to handle. Gohan and Megumi, monitoring the situation from their respective positions, begin experiencing alternate timeline echoes. For terrifying moments, they exist in multiple probability states simultaneously, experiencing deaths and victories from battles that never occurred. The cosmic entity feeds off their desperation, growing stronger with each impossible technique they create. As reality continues fracturing around them, both warriors realize they've triggered something that transcends individual power entirely. Both young men scream across dimensional barriers as their molecular structure destabilizes. Goku and Gojo immediately cease their techniques, working in perfect synchronization to save their students, but the damage spreads beyond their ability to contain. What have we done? Goku whispers, his Ultra Instinct form flickering as he struggles to process the magnitude of their mistake. We've created a paradox. Gojo responds grimly, his six eyes detecting probability cascades that threaten universal stability, something that feeds on the interaction between our techniques. The entity materializes partially, its form shifting through mathematical concepts that make both warriors' transcendent senses real with incomprehension. Excellent work, perfect specimens. Your interaction has generated exactly the data required for the next phase of my experiment. But this is only the beginning. The cosmic entity's true plan requires far more than their initial meeting. It needs them to fight with everything they possess, to push their transcendent abilities beyond every limit they've ever imagined. The battle for reality itself has begun, triggered by a simple handshake between two beings who thought they understood the meaning of power. As buildings around them phase between existing and not existing, as time itself begins stuttering under the weight of their combined impossibility, both Goku and Gojo understand they face something that makes their individual achievements look like children's games. And as blood from wounds that exist in alternate timelines begins manifesting on everyone present, both warriors realize they may have doomed not just their universes but the very concept of existence itself. The choice has been made. Now they must live with consequences that span infinite realities. The paradox collapses with the force of a dying star. Goku and Gojo move as one entity, their combined instincts overriding every trace of pride or competition. Ultra Instinct flows through instant transmission, while Limitless bends space into a rescue corridor, their techniques merging seamlessly to save Gohan and Megami from dimensional dissolution. Goku drops into fighting stance, his Ultra Instinct form blazing silver as he engages the first wave. His body moves automatically, dodging attacks that phase between dimensions while countering with techniques that adapt in real time. Each hybrid entity requires different combat approaches, their dual nature making them unpredictable even to divine instincts. Hybrid entities pour through the dimensional fractures, beings that shouldn't exist according to any natural law. These creatures possess both cursed energy and ki simultaneously, their forms shifting between spiritual manifestation and pure energy construct. They attack with techniques that belong to neither universe, using cursed ki blasts and spiritual domain expansions that warp reality around their targets. The young men solidify back into singular existence, gasping as their consciousness reunites across probability streams. But the reprieve lasts only moments before new chaos erupts from the spreading reality tears. Gojo creates spatial barriers while analyzing the entity's energy signatures. Impossible. They're using both power systems simultaneously without destroying themselves. The mathematical probability of stable hybrid existence should be 0. Math doesn't matter when people need help, Goku responds, firing a Kamehameha wave that splits into multiple dimensional trajectories. We figure out the how later. Right now, we fight. Their battle spreads across Tokyo as more tiers open throughout the city. In Shibuya, civilians flee as buildings phase between solid and ethereal states. Gravity functions randomly, creating zones where people fall upward into the sky while others sink through solid pavement. Time flows backwards in some areas, forcing people to relive traumatic moments in reverse chronological order. 6 hours after the initial paradox, the disturbance reaches global proportions. Dimensional monitoring stations across both universes detect impossible energy readings. At Capsule Corporation, Bulma's instruments register power signatures that break her most advanced sensors. The readings suggest reality itself is being rewritten in real time. Vegeta senses the disturbance during training on a distant planet. His instincts flare with recognition of Goku's energy signature, but mixed with something foreign and dangerous. Without hesitation, he rockets toward Earth at maximum speed, his pride demanding he face whatever threat has emerged. Simultaneously, Ryomen Sukuna stirs within Yuji's consciousness. The King of Curses detects dimensional instability that resonates with his own reality-warping abilities. For the first time in centuries, something has appeared that might provide entertainment worthy of his attention. Brat! Sukuna's voice echoes in Yuji's mind. Something magnificent is happening. The very fabric of existence is being rewritten. I must witness this personally. 12 hours in, the Z-Fighters assemble at Capsule Corp for emergency consultation. Piccolo's enhanced senses detect energy patterns that disturb him on a fundamental level. This isn't just powerful. It's wrong, like someone's rewriting the rules of reality itself. Gohan analyzes the situation with scholarly precision. Based on the energy readings, it appears two incompatible perfection systems have created a resonance cascade. The interaction is generating phenomena that shouldn't be possible under normal circumstances. At Jujutsu High, Principal Yaga calls an emergency meeting of special grade sorcerers. The situation has escalated beyond normal cursed spirit classification. Reports flood in from across Japan of reality distortions, impossible entities, and civilians manifesting abilities they shouldn't possess. This is unprecedented, Yaga states grimly. Our instruments are detecting cursed energy signatures mixed with something else entirely. It's as if a completely foreign power system has been introduced to our reality. 18 hours after the initial paradox, Goku and Gojo find themselves working in perfect coordination despite having known each other for less than a day. Their techniques complement each other with frightening efficiency. Goku's instant transmission positions Gojo at critical breach points, while Limitless creates containment fields that ki energy can reinforce. 18 hours after the initial paradox, Goku and Gojo find themselves working in perfect coordination despite having known each other for less than a day. Their techniques complement each other with frightening efficiency. Goku's instant transmission positions Gojo at critical breach points, while Limitless creates containment fields that ki energy can reinforce. The most shocking development comes when Krillin, attempting to help with civilian evacuation, gets caught in a dimensional fold that spans multiple timeline fragments. Instead of dying, he exists in probability superposition, experiencing every possible outcome simultaneously. When the fold collapses, he emerges with the ability to perceive multiple potential futures, his consciousness expanded beyond normal human limitations. They develop hybrid techniques without conscious planning. Goku channels ki through Gojo's spatial manipulations, creating dimensional Kamehameha waves that travel through folded space to strike targets from impossible angles. Gojo enhances his purple technique with ki energy, creating infinite void erasure attacks that delete portions of reality itself. Aijichi undergoes an even more dramatic transformation. Caught in the intersection of ki and cursed energy fields, his body adapts by becoming a living bridge between the two power systems. He can now sense dimensional instability before it manifests, serving as an early warning system for reality distortions. 24 hours after the fateful handshake, Tokyo has become a multi-dimensional maze. Different districts exist in separate reality states, each operating under hybrid rules that combine elements from both universes. Shibuya phases between dimensions every few minutes, while Harajuku exists in accelerated time where seconds feel like hours. The cosmic entity feeds off every moment of chaos, growing stronger with each impossible technique the warriors create. From its position between dimensions, it manipulates the feedback loops to generate maximum conflict between the incompatible power systems. Magnificent! It whispers across probability streams. The specimens adapt far more quickly than projected. Their natural compatibility is generating hybrid techniques that shouldn't be possible. This data will prove invaluable for the final phase. Teen and To-Do manage crowd control in areas where gravity functions unpredictably, their tactical minds adapting to impossible environmental conditions. Even Yamcha finds himself useful, his spirit ball technique proving effective against entities that phase between dimensions. The most disturbing development comes when several civilians begin manifesting hybrid abilities they can't control. A businessman in Shinjuku starts generating ki-enhanced cursed energy that tears holes in reality around him. A schoolteacher in Akihabara develops the ability to see cursed spirits through mathematical equations, her mind processing information in ways that should be impossible for non-sorcerers. Emergency response teams from both universes struggle to coordinate evacuation efforts. Traditional methods fail when buildings exist in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. Android 17 and Maki work together to establish safe zones, their different approaches to protection creating stable pockets where civilians can shelter. This is just the beginning. Gojo states grimly as he creates another containment field around a reality distortion. Whatever we've awakened, it's not finished with us yet. Both Goku and Gojo realize they're witnessing the birth of a new type of existence, one where the boundaries between their respective power systems have been permanently erased. The implications stagger both warriors, but there's no time for philosophical contemplation as new threats emerge from every dimensional tier. Goku nods, his Ultra Instinct form flickering with exhaustion. Then we keep fighting, together. Whatever comes next, we face it as allies. The real battle is about to begin. Neither realizes that their declaration of partnership is exactly what the cosmic entity has been waiting to hear. The next phase of its experiment requires their complete cooperation, and now it has engineered the perfect circumstances to ensure they'll fight side by side against increasingly impossible odds. 3 weeks have passed since the reality convergence, as historians would later call the moment when two universes became one. The merged world operates under new laws that defy everything both societies thought they understood about power and existence. The result is devastating. His punch creates a crater in the training ground that phases between existing and not existing, the impact rippling across multiple dimensional layers. Sukuna's voice echoes with grudging approval from within his consciousness. Interesting, brat. You're learning to blend power systems that should destroy each other. Perhaps this merger has created opportunities even I didn't anticipate. In the transformed landscape of Tokyo, Yuji Itadori stands atop Tokyo Jujutsu High's rooftop, his body radiating an aura that shouldn't be possible. Silver ki energy flows alongside dark cursed energy, creating patterns that pulse with hybrid power. He raises his hand and concentrates, manifesting what he calls spirit energy manipulation, a technique that combines the life force principles of ki with the negative emotion amplification of cursed energy. Royal pride territory, he declares, and reality reshapes itself to reflect his will. Within the domain, all attacks against him become beneath his notice, causing them to phase out of existence entirely. It's not just defense, it's a fundamental rejection of the concept that anything could threaten his royal status. Meanwhile, Vegeta floats in meditation pose above Capsule Corporation, his pride taking on new dimensions as he studies domain expansion theory. Traditional Saiyan arrogance has evolved into something more sophisticated, a calculated superiority that bends space around his presence. Bulma watches through reinforced windows as her husband's new technique warps the mathematical constants around him. His power readings are off the charts, but more importantly, he's manipulating abstract concepts. The energy signature suggests he's not just using cursed energy, he's redefining what cursed energy means. At the training grounds behind Jujutsu High, an unprecedented sight unfolds. Gohan sits cross-legged beside Megumi, both young men surrounded by floating texts that exist as pure information rather than physical books. Gohan has developed what he calls Scholar's Analysis Domain, a technique that creates a space where all knowledge about any power system becomes instantly accessible. Megumi nods, his Shikigami taking on new forms as they're enhanced with ki energy. His divine dogs now phase between dimensions, existing as both spiritual manifestations and pure energy constructs. Your analytical approach is revolutionary. In our world, we never thought to study the theoretical foundations of our techniques so systematically. The fascinating thing, Gohan explains to his new friend, is that ki and cursed energy aren't actually oppositive forces. They're complementary aspects of the same underlying energy that governs consciousness and reality. Ki flows from positive emotional states and life force, while cursed energy stems from negative emotions and spiritual distress. When combined properly, they create something entirely new. Their conversation is interrupted by an explosion of hybrid energy from across the city. Intelligence reports have been flooding in about organized attacks by entities that demonstrate disturbing strategic coordination. These aren't random reality distortions anymore. Something is directing them with purpose and intelligence. Goku and Gojo materialize through combined instant transmission and spatial manipulation, their partnership having evolved into seamless cooperation. They've been conducting reconnaissance missions through the dimensional layers surrounding Tokyo, mapping the cosmic entity's influence and discovering the scope of its experimental setup. It's worse than we thought. Gojo reports to the assembled group. The entity hasn't just been feeding off our conflicts, it's been using the dimensional instability to create what can only be described as feeding grounds, areas where reality is deliberately weakened to harvest conflict energy. Goku's expression grows serious, his usual cheerful demeanor tempered by the weight of their discovery. We found places where entire battles are being artificially generated. The entity creates scenarios where powerful beings are forced to fight, then harvest the energy from their conflicts to grow stronger. The implications stagger everyone present. This isn't just about their two universes anymore. The cosmic entity has been conducting similar experiments across multiple realities, gathering data on every form of transcendent conflict it can orchestrate. Piccolo's enhanced senses detect the approaching threat before anyone else. Something's coming? Multiple signatures, all using hybrid power systems like the ones we've been fighting, but stronger, much stronger. The ambush erupts with coordinated precision that speaks of intelligence and planning. Dozens of hybrid entities phase into existence around them, each one demonstrating mastery of techniques that combine both power systems flawlessly. These aren't the chaotic amalgamations they've been fighting. These are perfected soldiers in the cosmic entity's army. The battle that follows showcases how far everyone has evolved in just 3 weeks. Maki moves with ki-enhanced speed, while her cursed energy manipulation allows her to perceive weak points in reality itself. She strikes dimensional fractures with surgical precision, collapsing entire sections of enemy formations into folded space. Piccolo demonstrates his adaptation by regenerating with cursed energy reinforcement, his Namekian healing factor enhanced to the point where he can recover from injuries that span multiple timelines simultaneously. His special beam cannon now phases through dimensional barriers, striking targets that exist in parallel probability streams. Android 17 combines his infinite energy with spatial manipulation techniques learned from observing Gojo, creating barriers that exist in mathematical impossibility. His energy shields don't just deflect attacks, they redirect them into pocket dimensions where they can't harm anyone. The most shocking development comes when Panda reveals abilities that shouldn't exist for a cursed corpse. His connection to both power systems has awakened something approaching true consciousness, allowing him to manifest ki energy through pure emotional resonance rather than life force. This is fascinating, he declares, while wrestling a hybrid entity twice his size. I'm experiencing emotions I was never designed to feel, and they're generating power I shouldn't be able to access. The merger has created possibilities that transcend original programming limitations. From its position between dimensions, the entity processes the collected information with satisfaction. Excellent progression. The specimens have exceeded all projections in developing hybrid techniques. Their natural compatibility is generating innovations that my previous experiments never achieved. Phase 2 of the Perfect Conflict Protocol can now commence. Yamcha proves that even traditionally weaker fighters can achieve relevance in the new paradigm. His Spirit Ball technique, enhanced with cursed energy manipulation, creates attacks that exist as mathematical concepts rather than physical projectiles. They strike targets by manipulating the probability of impact rather than relying on speed or power. But the most terrifying revelation comes when the organized entities retreat in perfect coordination, their withdrawal revealing that this was merely a probing attack. The cosmic entity has been testing their new abilities, gathering data on how quickly they adapt to hybrid combat scenarios.